Welcome to Wisdom on the Front Porch. Subscribe, ring the bell, like, and share the wisdom. Pull up a chair and join us with today's guest.
Here we are on another great episode of Wisdom on the Front Porch. And pull up a chair, sit on our front porch because we're going to talk with Robert today. Robert, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. I love your background. I love art. My whole walls are surrounded by art from family and friends, and
Yeah.
your plant looks good. Um, but we're not going to just talk about art. What are we going to talk about today? What do you do? Who are you?
So I provide what would be called security awareness training, you know.
Mm,
So I talk about bad guys, bad actors, predators and thieves, and what their motivations are, and how you and we protect our data, our dollars, our identities, how we protect ourselves from people who, their job is to take from us. Our job is to make sure that doesn't happen.
right.
And not the most savory of topics, but it's one
No,
that like we got to know about, right? I mean,
absolutely.
it's always been like that. It is like that. It's always going to be like that. So it's kind of good to know what to do, and I speak to that.
Yeah, that's really great. I know 3 years ago, well, maybe it's been 4 years ago now, I had this thing that came on my screen and it said something about thank you, goodbye, and my screen died. I mean, fortunately, I knew somebody who was genius and I got a lot of my information back. I didn't have any repercussions from it, but I know some people who have had some serious repercussions from um, cybercrime. And we get busy in our work as entrepreneurs that we forget to protect ourselves. We forget to close out the windows. We forget to log off. We just get so focused on what we're doing that we don't pay attention to closing the door behind you or locking it. And so let's hear some of the things that you typically run into with people that or with cybercrime. What should we be looking out for?
Well, the main thing is, inbound communications. Like every time the phone rings, every time you get an email, every time you get a text message, you have to kind of take a look at it. Like, just don't automatically trust that it's okay.
Right,
Um, like don't necessarily worry about those things, but like, you get like a wrong number text message, just delete it. Like, don't bother responding to it.
yep,
Hey,
especially if
this
there's a
is
link.
this is a Genie. Is this Robert? It's like, oh, well, Genie, who are you? Like, once you even Genie, who are you? You're already going down the criminal's rabbit hole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You're better off just deleting, like just ignore it, because probably at this point, 100% of the time, it's just like a scam in the making.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I
Yeah.
say just delete all the text messages from people who you don't know. If
Mhm.
you get a phone call these days, like I do answer the phone, but I also have apps and my phone recognizes like it says scam call.
Right,
If
right,
it's a scam call, I'm just like letting it go to voicemail. If I
right.
don't recognize the number, I usually answer it because it might be like the doctor's office, you know? That's like the main reason why I'm answering it because it's like it's probably like an office calling me that I don't have the number in my phone. But
Okay.
then like if there's like a moment of silence and then somebody gets on, they're like, "Oh, is this Robert?" I'm like, "I'm sorry, who's this?" And I'll give them like no more than 10 seconds and then click, you know?
Okay.
And it's just like a waste of my time, but that's it. I
Right,
do let a lot of things go to voicemail, but only because like if I'm expecting a call from a doctor's office, I'll answer it, right?
right, right.
And then emails, like I'm very aware of emails that come in that end up in my inbox.
Hmm.
And I would say at this point in the course of a year, I might get a handful of emails that are good emails that go into spam.
Right, right.
So I do pay attention to that. But I'm getting a lot more scammy, spammy emails that end up in my inbox.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a lot more than ever. I'm probably getting at least 4 or 5 a week. Like
Mm.
they end up in the inbox and they are absolutely fraud. Okay.
Isn't that
And
something?
And usually, like how to tell is, they want me to like sign a DocuSign. They're
Oh,
saying that, they already accepted my payment for whatever on PayPal. And if I don't recognize the payment, call the phone number. Like every
right.
time those emails come in with there's a phone number, that phone number is a telltale sign, like that payment that they want me to call on to dispute, it's fraud. What
Yeah.
they're trying to do is they're trying to get you to like call the number, and then the goal is that they're going to say, "Oh, we need to check your computer," and
Oh, no.
they're going to scam you into remotely logging into your computer.
No, no. Yeah,
So just hit delete, like hit delete,
right.
pretty much all the time.
I had the strangest thing happen. I had just signed up an account for Etsy because I do artwork and some other things. And I got three messages like the next day saying, I was purchasing your product. I couldn't get it done. I need you to send me your credit card so I can finish doing this. And I thought, wait a minute, if you're buying from me, why do I need to send you my credit card?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's not good. And then I checked in with Etsy, see if anything was there. No sales at all whatsoever. And so it's like, yeah, I mean, why would I give them my credit card for them buying something from me? I mean, it just didn't make sense.
Well, a lot of the stuff doesn't make sense, which
Yeah.
that means you're paying attention, Sometimes those things make a little sense,
Mhm.
and it's when they make more sense to us that when the scam is like good, so to speak, you know,
Right.
that's when they kind of rope us in.
Yeah. And that's dangerous.
Yeah. So it's just, really important to be paying attention. Like personal security, like if you think about like what is personal security? Well, personal security generally is like in the physical world, it's like violence prevention, you know?
Right.
And with personal security, what you're supposed to do when you're out in the streets is you're supposed to pay attention. Look to the right, look to the left, know what's going on behind you. Pay attention to your surroundings. That's personal
Oh, yeah.
security, right?
If you see
Well,
somebody wearing a trench coat and everybody else is shorts and sandals, go the other direction.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But personal security is also pay attention to
Right.
the email, pay attention to the text message, pay attention to the phone call. Like each situation you are in, pay attention, you know? And as long as we do that, and like you mentioned, like sometimes we just get too busy, we forget to close the door behind us, like we're distracted. That's what they want. They want you to be
Right.
distracted. They want you to not be paying attention. So as long as you're doing those basic things, like I've been doing what I do for 30 to even 40 years, professionally for 30. And in all this time, all I've ever done, and I've never really been scammed, and all I've ever really done is just pay attention, you
Yes.
know? And
Yeah.
so I'm looking for, okay, where is the anomaly here? Where is like, what doesn't add up or make sense here? And usually, like, I'm pretty good at getting it like right away.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I don't get it right away. It might take a minute. And when it takes that long, I'm like, ooh, that was a good one, you know? Yeah.
So what about like Norton, AVG, all of these programs that are out there to help prevent us from getting hacked, fished, catfished, whatever,
Yeah.
scammed?
Yeah. So those antivirus tools, right? They have a lot of bells and whistles that all of them serve a purpose. And if you kind of dive in and dig in and figure out what those tools are and what purposes they serve and use them to the best of your ability, you can mitigate risk, by using that
Okay.
stuff. But like what people need to recognize is like just having the tool and just letting it run in the background, while it does provide a level of protection, like if you click a link, that link goes to an infected website, that say antivirus might alert you and say, hey, we just blocked your access to this web
Right.
page because it was nefarious. That's great, but it's also up to us to pay attention. We still have to like look at the body of the email and what is this email trying to get us to do before we actually do it. because the antivirus may not actually stop that threat. Does that make
And
sense?
yeah, how does AI fit into this? I see more people using AI to go through their emails to answer text messages, and like say I've got it all on automated. Someone sends a text message from my website and wants to know something, the AI takes over. Is that going to be pretty dangerous, or is it? Should we trust it?
So all those various tools that use the support of AI are fine. You know, um,
Mhm.
should we trust it? Kind of a big question. So here's what I do, right? Whatever automated automation tools that I use, whatever tools that I use like AI that assist me in cleaning up an email, writing better, editing, stuff like that, helping me, navigate something or figure out a problem. I use all that stuff, every bit of it,
Okay.
and all the automation that goes with all the various tech. Yeah, and all the automation that goes with all the various technologies that we use. In general, the companies that are putting that stuff out, they're doing their relative due diligence in making sure that the product that they deploy is like safe and secure for the user in general. Okay. Occasionally, a company might deploy a product that has a vulnerability, we call it, that like might do something that they didn't intend for it to do. And usually we're going to be made aware of that stuff. But like
Alrighty.
all this various tech, yeah, and all this various technology that's out there that we use that has AI, in and of itself, I would not consider it a risk. I would use
Okay.
it as you are using it, and I think it should be fine. The issues with AI that concern me are things like I'm sure you've heard of deep fakes.
Actually, I
A deep
haven't.
fake.
No.
Okay, so a deep fake is basically it's like a video or an audio sample, right? Where, like for example, if you like go to Facebook Reels or various websites that you see video, like Instagram and stuff, even YouTube for that matter, you
Right.
might see videos of like maybe even the president saying something or doing something that's not really the president actually doing that. It's a
Right.
video that was generated using artificial intelligence that looks like the president. It might even be perfect, but it's not the president actually saying those things. It's somebody else, or it's actually really just a computer saying it's computer
Right.
generated imagery that is saying those things that that politician supposedly said but really didn't. So
Right.
that's called a deep fake. That's when
Yeah.
artificial intelligence is used with your imagery to say and do things that you didn't say or do.
Oh yeah. And now I just watched the movie that's an upgrade, I guess, from The Running Man, and it actually does that. What this person said on their video, they ended up changing it completely, and it wasn't that. And I thought, yeah, I see how that's happening today even.
It's happening.
And it's
Yeah.
and it people are going to know what's real or what's not real, unless they're in person. And it's really sad that it's come to the point that we can't trust anything. I mean, that's a very scared society, and we don't want that.
I don't want that either. We
Yeah.
are at that point. Yeah. And so what that means is that whenever you're watching video, streaming video, whether it's like in real time or it's a recording of sorts, um, before you rush to judgment, even when you're watching like regular TV, you still have to be concerned about like, okay, what's the
Oh,
message they're trying to
absolutely.
get across? Is it real? Is it fake? Is it propaganda? All that stuff, right? We're pretty good at discerning like what makes us uncomfortable versus comfortable, what we see as being legitimate versus not, and so forth. Like, what is somebody trying to like, you know, sell their agenda versus is it the truth? Right? We're pretty good at that. If you've been on this planet long enough, you kind of get a handle on that, right?
Right.
But when it comes to pre-recorded videos that you watch, say on Facebook Reels, as an example, where you see like a truck barreling through a neighborhood and just smashing one car after the other, whatever it might be, right?
Right.
It looks perfectly real, but it might not be.
Yep.
It might be somebody just created that, like somebody creates a character in a movie. using
Correct.
all the special effects. It could be that real looking, but it might not be real at all. So the same way when we watch movies, that we know, like, to some degree, like, it's a science fiction, right? It's computer generated imagery. It's something that
Yeah.
is too good to be true. Like, that's not really real. We know that because we understand, like, that there's no actual aliens walking through, downtown Manhattan. We know that, right? That said, when you see something on Facebook or wherever that is like, whoa, that looks so real to me. Like, is that real? Like, we do need to question that stuff
Right.
going forward.
And we have to teach our children and our grandchildren to be careful and be discerning, because a lot of it, they're growing up with this and they'll think it's real. They don't know that it's not.
Right.
And yeah, so I think it's real important we get back to watching what our kids are watching and talking about things and spend more time together away from digital and electronics and all of that.
We're on the exact same page. My girls didn't get their mobile devices until they were 14, and that was still too young. And the only reason why
Yes.
they got them at 14 was because, they were getting on the train and going into Boston every day. And I wanted the
Oh, yeah.
best means of communication for them. Other than that, I would have waited till they were 16, because I
Yeah.
don't I don't know that they are cognitively developed enough to engage with that amount of information coming in all day long.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
And there's so many predators out there who are pretending to be somebody they're not. And there's so many, I mean, even AI. I just heard of a 9-year-old child that was talking to AI, and it became very not things you really want a 9-year-old to be
Yeah.
asking and talking about. And it's we've got to be there with our kids. We've got to find something to do. So what are some ways that besides really paying attention and getting the tools, um, what are some other ways that we can protect our family?
So I would say, going back to, like, the data security of things, protecting your identity, protecting your bank accounts and stuff, right?
Right.
There's a few things that you should be doing to protect your identity, like your social security number. There's something called a credit freeze. And a
Okay.
credit freeze is a free tool that's available through Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. They're the three major credit bureaus.
Right.
So if you were to just Google credit freeze Experian, credit freeze Equifax, credit freeze TransUnion, those are the three of them, you'd end up on the first page of the credit bureau's website, where they administer and implement the credit freeze for you, where you set up an account.
Okay.
So credit freeze TransUnion, credit freeze Experian, credit freeze Equifax, and set up an account for each of the credit bureaus, all three, do all three. Open up like an Excel file or a Word document to save like your passwords and the URL and everything. And once you freeze your credit, the bad guys, when they do come across your social security number, because it's a when, not an if, when they do, and they go to apply for a loan under your name, they're not going to be able to, because your credit's frozen.
Okay.
Now you still have access you can still use your credit cards. You can still, use all your loans and everything. None of that changes. It's just to freeze your credit, so that a lender, when they go to check your credit, even if it's an identity thief, they can't see your credit scores because your credit's frozen.
Okay.
Now, when you want to get a loan, right, you might want to, like, lease a vehicle, and that requires a credit check. Then you temporarily thaw your credit. It's like
Okay.
an easy process. The same way that you froze it, you temporarily thaw it, so that you can have the lender check your credit in that window of time where it's temporarily thawed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're not going to be taking out any loans or anything, there's no reason why you can't freeze it and just
Yeah.
help protect yourself.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I've had my credit frozen since February of 2008, which is when it first became available. And so what is that? Like, 12, 17 years? And in 17 years, I've temporarily thawed my credit maybe 15 times, you know?
Okay.
Once every couple of years, you either lease a vehicle, you get a different credit card, or you go to a different mobile phone carrier, or you open up a utility, or you refinance your home. So It's a temporary process. It's easy to do. You keep good notes, you're good. So that's a credit freeze. And the other thing that what I'll leave you with, okay, is password management. Okay.
Right.
So most of us struggle with password management. Like it's kind of like an overwhelming thing that we don't want to deal with. I get it. But there's a way to go about password management that's really easy, actually. So keep in
Okay.
mind, like that right now, with all the data breaches, like we've all heard of data breaches, there's been about 15 billion passwords on the dark web.
Wow.
15, yeah, 15 billion. So what does that mean? It means that like you want to change up your passcodes. Like if you're using the same passcode across each account, you want to change them to a different
Mhm.
passcode. And when I say a different passcode, like different passcodes, plural, like no two websites that you go to should have the same passcode.
Okay.
And the way that you accomplish that is with something called a password manager. So if we do a quick Google search for password manager, you're going to find all kinds of articles in the first page of search that talk about the best password managers for 2026.
And you're
Click on it.
talking things like RoboForm and some of those where they hold them for you.
You're
Yeah.
already an expert. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Roboform, that's a good one, right?
Yeah. I actually, my husband works with a lot of cyber stuff. And so years ago, he said, this is a great way to help.
Yeah,
And there's some really good ones out there.
yeah,
And in fact, when I got my new computer, I wanted to see what else is out there. What are they rating at? What's RoboForm? What's some of the others rating at? And go with that.
yeah,
You need to do your homework to find out what works for you.
exactly. Yeah. So I've been using a password manager for 22 years at this point, since 2003, four. And it's the best use of my time and my money for my security and my privacy. Uh, and it also fills out forms. Like they make it really easy, you know?
Yes,
And yeah,
it
yeah, it's
does.
great. And I think I spend like $17 a year for my password manager, which is like in the scheme of things, $17 is not a lot of money, you know? And
Right.
I pay for it because I have like hundreds of passcodes. Like once you have like beyond 10 accounts, 10
Oh,
passwords,
yeah.
you need to pay, which is a small investment that I'm happy to do.
Yes,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
freeze your credit and get a password manager and restrict your 9-year-old from accessing the web 24 hours a day.
Right.
You know?
Even AI,
Yeah.
even the chats and all of those.
Yeah. And,
Um,
and just
so
and just pay attention to everything, situational awareness, and you should be good.
yeah, that's good. So Robert, how can people get a hold of you if they want to ask more and find out more?
I'm easy to find online. If you can spell Siciliano, Robert Siciliano, Siciliano, Google me. Other than that, my website is protectnowllc.com, protectnowllc.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Thank your audience for being here. Thanks for pulling up a chair with us and learning how to really protect yourself, protect your investments, your banks, and your family. And we'll see you next time on Wisdom on the Front Porch.
Thank you, my Front Porch friends and neighbors, for pulling up a chair with me and my guest today on Wisdom on the Front Porch. Now, if you've got value from this conversation, would you do me a favor? Leave a quick review, then share it with someone you know who could use some inspiration. It helps more friends find their seat on the porch. And hey, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss what's next. Until then, keep the porch light on for new wisdom every time you show up. Your seat's always here for you on the porch.